Good evening. My name is Ava Butler, and for my concert report, I went to the University of Alabama Choral Showcase. Their showcase this semester is called Gold in the Broken Places. Um, this was an amazing choral concert I've ever been to. I would definitely recommend going and seeing either the treble chorus, tenor chorus, university chorus, or all three of them put together. It was truly an amazing time. This program emerged through a kind of um, idea through a Japanese word called kintsugi, which is when you take broken pottery and you mold it back together with silver or gold lacquer, and it makes it into something beautiful. So the whole point of this was to take something that was already put together and break it into pieces to build it back up into something beautiful. And that is truly what they showcased tonight in their showcase. So I really, really enjoyed it. Their main piece tonight was actually written by a Japanese composer, and it was written only for their showcase tonight, which I thought was really cool. And he specifically wrote it for them. This wasn't a straight original, and it wasn't, how some people say they're originals, but they've actually been like transformed once or twice. Not this one. This one was specifically written for UA's choir, and it was sent straight from the composer to the directors at UA's choir as well. And the all three choirs sung it together, and they learned it in Japanese, so they could get you could get the full effect of what it was meant to be, which I thought was very impressive for them to learn Japanese just for this song. Um, and yeah, throughout the entire show, they swapped between the treble chorus starting at the beginning, then go into tenor chorus, and then the university chorus towards the end. They displayed an amazing showcase tonight. There were times like in the very beginning when they opened with the treble chorus, they both females and males sang together. Then they broke apart and they would do males, females, males, and then females again. And what I thought was really cool was when the males were singing their first piece, which was amazing. They had almost like a dog fight, is what I'm used to calling it when I was in band in school, where the bass and the tenors were on one side and you got the altos, maybe some higher tenors on the other side, and they're just like going back and forth and the tempo is increasing and they're crescendoing and decrescendoing, and it was an amazing thing to watch. But while they were doing their dog fight, whatever you want to call it, the females were making their way up into the third balcony of the Moody Music Hall, where once it was their turn to sing, all you hear was these beautiful voices coming out from behind you, and it was truly an amazing experience to watch from back behind there. And they slowly started to trickle back down to stage level. While they were doing that, they kept on singing without watching their director and watching for her counts and her cues, which just shows how talented and how much time they spent into practicing this. And then it went back to the males, back to the females. Then we moved on to the main piece, which I talked about, which was Kintsugi. It was an amazing piece to be heard in Japanese. It was very interesting. Never heard it before. And yeah, it was an amazing evening. Throughout the entire show, there were a bunch of different instruments that got involved. There was at least two cellos, two different percussionists, two violinists, two violas, and a harpsichord. As well, at the very end, when they did their grand finale, it was called "Will the Circle Be Unbroken?" with the entire all three choirs put together. It was beautiful. And they had three individual soloists, which blew my socks off. They were very, very well rehearsed. And in that song, they had a drum set and a bass guitar player. They also had a pianist throughout the entire thing. There was a cello in the tenor chorus, I believe. But yeah, the entire show was an amazing thing to go watch. Definitely would recommend going and watching it. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to my concert report on the UA show choirs, Gold in the Broken Pieces, and I hope you have an amazing night. Thank you.